Again, hello everyone, and a warm welcome to all of our partners joining the session, as well as to all of my SAP colleagues. My name is Miriam, and I will be your moderator of this session today. And prior starting, I would like to share some housekeeping rules with you. First of all, this session is being recorded, and all recordings can be found on our landing page after the training. Moreover, we also reserved some time for some Q&A for you. And to post your questions, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And please refrain from using the chat function to post your questions. And with that, our presenters, Talal, Hannah, Reda, and Abhishek will now take over and will guide you through analytics in the context of SAP S4HANA. And with that, I will hand over to Talal. Thank you.
So, welcome everyone, and without any further ado, let's go towards the agenda. Next slide, please. A quick look at the agenda. So first of all, we have SAP S4HANA Cloud Data Integration topic that will be presented by my colleague, Hannah. After that, Embedded Analytics powered by SAP Analytics Cloud will be presented by my colleague, Reda. And then Hannah will once again take over to show you some best practices in analytics. After that, we have some further information and resources that could be useful for you in this context. In the end, the last topic for this session today would be enterprise search, which will be taken care of by Abhishek. We have some time reserved at the end for live Q&A. And also, as Miriam announced in the beginning, please feel free to post your questions via the Q&A tool. Thank you so much. Let's hand over to our first speaker, Hannah, in this case for SAP Data Integration. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you for the introduction, Talal. I will take care of the topic SAP S4HANA Cloud Data Integration. And as our whole session is called Analytics in the context of SAP S4HANA, it also includes that we can analyze the data from S4 into other systems or in other systems. And the data integration topic is therefore all about the extraction of data from SAP S4HANA Cloud into other target systems like SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, SAP BW for HANA, and SAP Data Intelligence. So next slide, please. And this extraction is done via ABAP CDS views. And to use them as extractors, they need to be extraction enabled and also C1 released, meaning that they have this C1 stability contract and guarantee a certain stability. And in 2021, we had 800 new extraction-enabled CDS views, and in total, up to now, it's about 1,800. And for the change data capture, we have around 130 new ABAP CDS views, and all in all, we're around 300 up to now. Other than that, the topic of data integration is included in the Open SAP course called SAP S4HANA Embedded Analytics, which is currently running. And there we show with demos how to extract data from SAP S4HANA into systems like SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, SAP BW for HANA, and SAP Data Intelligence, and how you can then access the data and build reports on top with SAP Analytics Cloud. We also updated our best practice packages for the integration with SAP Data Warehouse Cloud and SAP Data Intelligence. So there is a detailed description how to set up the integration and how you can access the ABAP CDS views. Our mission going forward is to harness data from SAP S4HANA and building bridges between enterprise applications. How do we do it? That's what I want to share with you now in our future strategy. So first of all, we want to increase the ABAP CDS view contents coverage. So you see up to now, we have got already 1,800 extraction enabled ABAP CDS views and around 300 CDC enabled, but we aim to further increase this number. And we also want to enhance the functionalities for the custom CDS views app. In terms of visibility, we plan to deliver a SAP Fiori app, with which you can access your SAP S4HANA Cloud data. We also want to deliver content to support customers with the SAP S4HANA Cloud integration scenarios with, for example, our best practice packages or micro-learnings. And lastly, we want to extend SAP S4HANA tools for IT professionals to create extensibility scenarios. Next slide, please. Now I want to show which standard and tools are included in our future strategy. So there will still be standard CDS views. They will still remain the standard and become the way to extract data from SAP S4HANA Cloud and to build the analytics and extensibility scenarios. In terms of tools, I already mentioned that we want to deliver a new Fiori app called Data Browser, with which customers can access whitelisted tables and ABAP CDS views. And we want to enhance the functionality for the custom CDS views app so that customers are able to enable ABAP CDS views for extraction themselves. Next slide, please. Now I want to also have a look on the roadmap. In the two releases, 2108 and the upcoming one, 2111, we all in all deliver about 630 new extraction-enabled CDS views. And in the past release, we updated our best practice packages and we deprecated the ABAP CDS views replication Fiori app. Looking into the future and the next quarter coming, or first quarter coming in 2022, we of course want to continue deliver new extraction-enabled CDS views. Above that, we plan to deliver the data browser and continuously enhance its features. We will also want to enhance the custom CDS views app and the view browser app. And one thing that was not mentioned before is the enhancement of the API hub. So at the moment, it's not that easy to find which CDS views are extraction enabled, and we want to make that easier by categorizing them. And of course, we will continue to improve our best practice packages, the scope items, and deliver you or help you with good content. Now I would like to hand over to Rita.
So hi, welcome everyone to this part of the session about the embedded analytics powered by the SAP Analytics Cloud. And in the first slide, I want to share with you what are the new features that you should expect from the embedded analytics since starting 2105. For that, I would start with the view browser. As of 2105, we support the migrated CDS view to CDS 2.0, or what you also call the CDS view entities. And similarly to the CDS 0.1 CDS views from the view browser, you will be able to examine the list of annotation and columns, and also the dependencies in terms of cross-reference, but also see the content in case of queries. So next, also for 2105, we heard lots of feedback from our customers, but also from partners that this custom created analytical list pages that you probably have already created some of from the Managed KPI report app previously didn't have an export function on the table levels. And with 2105, we have introduced the Excel export in terms of CSV, but also the advanced exports features such as file name specification, split cell, and also including the filter settings for the exports. As for the custom analytical queries, I think we also added a very highly, what was highly anticipated feature in terms of filtering by hierarchy nodes. So now user can create parameters and use them to act like hierarchy nodes and filter on a dimension based on these parameters. For 2108, we enable the embedding of the SAP Analytics Cloud Enterprise Story Edition by deprecating the old existing app that was called Create tile for SAP Analytics Cloud Story. And with that, we bring it to the Managed KPI Cloud, Managed KPI Reports app, similarly as for the embedded stories. And I'll show you a demo about this in a couple of seconds. What is, before going to the demo, what is worth to mention is you could still expect the same integration as for the embedded edition. So you have the wrapper app that's supporting variant management, intent-based navigation, and also Xstate, which allows you to navigate with the context. And now for the demo part. So let me just go ahead and start that. So now I am in the Managed KPI Report app. And as I mentioned, this is the app where you create KPIs, reports, and other type of artifacts such as the stories. And until 2105, we had only the ability to create stories here from the Managed KPI Report app that were based on the embedded SAC that SAP Analytics Cloud that we deliver out of the box for SAP S4HANA Cloud customers. But now if I go to the story tab, I can see two subsections. So one is referring to the one you know, so the embedded stories, but the new one is the standalone stories. And now I'm going to show you in this demo how we're going to create an application based on your standalone stories. So for this, I'm going to choose a day payable outstanding story, which is sitting on a SAP Analytics Cloud Enterprise Edition. And same as also what you know from the integration with the embedded edition, you will see on the first tab the definition, which refers to the business information and the detail about the data sources. And in the second tab, you will see the configuration, which give you a preview about the story that is going to be embedded. And last but not least is the most important part of the integration is the application part where you can create new tiles for those embedded S4HANA applications to be used. So now we're going to click on Add Tile. And here we have a variety of type of tiles, but for sake of simplicity, I'm just going to go with a simple static tile. And now, once this is selected, I can go ahead and fill in some of the details, such as the tile and the subtitle of my tile. In this case, is keep the same as the story title, so days payable outstanding, and I give it a subtitle of my choice. Now comes to also more interesting parts is the target mapping, and by this I just will allocate this application a semantic object and a semantic action, which through this pair I'll be able to navigate also to this application from the SAP S4HANA Cloud. Now, after doing this, the next part is configuring the navigation intent. And for this case, I'm going to go ahead and select the semantic object supplier. And as for the action, I'm just going to go ahead and use star, because this will allow me to navigate to the all possible combination of my semantic object and the existing semantic actions also with respect to my authorizations. Now I go ahead and save and publish. And as you know, also familiar from the embedded story part, you have to select a business catalog where you want to publish this tile. And for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to go ahead with the Analytics KPI as it's part of my role, and click Publish now. This process takes 30 seconds usually, but this time was quicker. So the next step is I'm going to go ahead and show you what is the view that the business user will be seeing once this tile is published into his business catalog. So now is my tile here. I can go ahead and launch it. This will launch it into this wrapper app that is completely and seamlessly integrated with the SAP Fiori Launchpad from SAP S4HANA Cloud. And now I can go ahead and just choose my story, apply filters, or do any sort of analysis. And what is also here worth to mention is this intent-based navigation that we configured in terms of supplier. We're gonna go and use it to show you what is actually the how that works actually in real life. So now that I saved the variants, I can go ahead and select this data point and use the jump to function. And with this, I can navigate with the context to a supplier. And in the supplier app, you can see that it was exactly the same Tronic trade supplier that was passed from the ACC. Now, with the custom analytical queries in 2108, we added the support of fixed parameters for filtering on restricted measures and dimensions. And this is the opposite of what was before, as before you could only filter used fixed values. Now you can create new parameters and use those parameters as input filters. I'm going to also show that in the demo next. And this time I'm in the custom analytical query. I'm going to go ahead and add a restricted measure. Just give it a name RM. And now I'm going to go to the fixed values, and I want to do my filtering based on the month here. And here, the new thing is this user input filter. And for that, I'm going to create a parameter, and I'm going to call it pay year month. And going to select it. And now I can go to my filters and go also to the month here. And similarly, also in the fixed values, I can use that parameters to filter on the dimension. So you can find it again here, and you can go ahead now and save. So we can preview it, and you can see also what is the effect of that on your query. So now I preview my query, and I go ahead and give this year month a value. This case is the month of June 2021, sorry. And I just add the month year dimension into the rows. And you can see that now the whole, not only the restricted measure is filtered by the parameter, but also the dimension, which give a more, let's say, accuracy and also more control while you're creating your multi-dimensional reports. Now I'm going to go back again. And this time I'm going to remove the filter from the month year dimension, save. And again, go to the preview mode. Now this time again, I'm going to select the same value for my filter. And go ahead again and put the month year into the rows. And you will see that now the month year is not filtered, but I still have my restricted measure filtered with the multi-year. So just a way to flexibility that you can choose to filter with this parameter either on a measure using a restricted measure, or you can filter on a dimension, simply. Now, this is especially relevant for the partners that are working on SAP S4HANA on-prem. Also in terms of the integration with this SAP Analytics Cloud Enterprise Edition, we have relaxed the filter criteria for the dashboards that are coming to the Manage KPI and Report app. And this will allow now key user to create SAP S4HANA applications based on stories that are based on planning models, but also on stories that are based on a non-S4HANA connection, such as, for example, a story based on an Excel file, a story that is based on a model that is created from an Excel file. And maybe also worth here mentioning, because we also mentioned that last time in the last Delta training. So as of 2108, all of SAP Design Studio apps are set to deprecated, and you can continue using the Design Studio reports. However, you can no longer create new ones. And we also highly recommend you to migrate your existing Design Studio apps to Webdin Pro apps. And you also can find their recommendation on how to find your existing apps that are built on Design Studio. And for further information, please go and visit those links that we added into the section. Now, here for 2111, we have add some improvement into the view browser application. You will notice a slight change in the UI as we kind of initially hid some columns such as tag and supported capabilities or view tab, but you can always add them using the table functions of Fiori. So if you need those columns, you can easily get them back again, but for initial load, we just kind of hide them. Now for the roadmap, so as I mentioned, for the 2108, also a demo for that. So we enable the embedding of the stories from the SAP S4HANA, from the SAP Analytics Cloud Enterprise Edition into SAP S4HANA Cloud. And we also supported the migrated CDS view into the view entities. But what is more to mention, in 2011, we enabled the hierarchy nodes to restrict dimensions, and we enabled the use of functions, lookup entities for deriving variable functions, which is also super, was a super requested function or feature from our customers and partners. So now, as of today, you can select some of the derivation functions that we deliver from SAP and use them to filter your queries. For Q1 2022, we will continue driving performance improvement for a query browser and add some features also to the custom analytical queries, such as the support for lookup entities to return hierarchy nodes and the value help to support those lookup entity parameters. Now I hand over to Hannah for best practice for analytics.
Okay, yes, thank you. Can you please go to the next slide? Yes, for the best practices for analytics with SAP S4HANA Cloud 28, we have got one new scope item that is called Embedded Machine Learning in SAP S4HANA Cloud. And it includes information about how to leverage embedded predictive intelligence offerings in SAP S4HANA Cloud and how to includes all the details and the steps that you need to do. The next slide, please. Also have a quick look on the roadmap. So for the past release and the upcoming, we have got in the area of best practices and other analytics, some new things for treasury and procurement. And in terms of the technical setup, we have this delivery of the generic knowledge assets about how to start with S4 related analytics and machine learnings. Looking into the future for Q1, there will be a new or enhanced operational analytics via the OEM SAC content. And there will be also planned an analytics with additional features out of S4HANA Cloud. And in terms of the technical setup, there will be knowledge assets for business technology platform analytics. Then I'll hand over to Abhishek. No, I'm sorry. Further information and resources, I forgot. Yeah, next slide, please. This is a slide that which includes some blogs and other information if you're further interested in the topics. And yeah, we invite you to have a look on those. But now I'll hand over to Abhishek.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. So yeah, so I'll be going through the details of enterprise search. Specifically, I'll be talking about adding custom field to the SAP delivered search model today. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so let's see what is the uses of enterprise search models in SAP S4HANA Cloud. So if you see, this is the screenshot taken from the tool Cloud Reporting. And on the left-hand side, we see the number of customers actually using the search models. So there were 351 customers in last month who used this query, who used the search model and queried it. And then there are about 180 models which were getting used. Yeah, so next slide. Yeah, so before going to explain how we can add the custom field and see in the search result, I will just show you how easily we can see that in the search result and try to compare how it is it will appear in the search result. So if you see, so this is the search result for the search model demo 8, and what we see here, there are 12 fields actually. These are the response fields, means that these are appearing in the search results, and for some of them we can do a search, and these are actually done by some annotations. So that are the technical terms which we use. So there are two types of extensions actually what we have developed. So one is this look and feel extension, where we can, for example, this manufacturer is coming at the first position and the product type is coming at the 12th position. If let's say the same search model is delivered to the customer and the customer wants this product type to be appear at the first position, so he can very easily do that. He has to go to this manage search model app and swap the position basically. So this is look and feel extension. Now there's another type of extension where we can add a new field. That is a custom field. So the customer will have to create a custom field first and then add it, and it will be available in the search result. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so if you see here, so this is the search result after adding the custom field. So if you see 13th field is just full name. So that is nothing but a custom field, which was not delivered by SAP, but the customer has added it. And also, if you see, this product type is now switched from 12th place to first place. So this is what I was talking about, look and feel extension. So this we can achieve through an app called Manage Search Model. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so how customer can do this? So basically, they have to go to this tab called custom fields, and then they have to create a custom field within a business context. So for example, this business context I have chosen is master data product general, since the search model was also belongs to the same business context product. So this is one of the prerequisites. You have to choose, you have to create a custom field in the same business context. And again, the label is test full name. So if you can see, this YY1 is nothing but a prefix added in the system, and then the type and length we have specified. So you need to click on create, and the custom field will be created in that particular system. And then next slide, please. Yeah, after creating the custom field, you need to enable it for the search model. So if you see the second row, highlighted one is enabled. So that is already enabled for a search model. And second row, first column, you see ESS demo. So that is the technical name for the CDS view, search CDS view. And we are enabling that particular custom field, which we created in the previous slide. We are going to enable it for this search model, so that we can establish a link between the search model and the custom field, so that technically there will be an association created, but this is just like establishing a link between two different things. And then we could, then you have to publish, save and publish. On the footer, you see two buttons, save and publish. If you publish it, it will be published, and it will be enabled for this particular search model. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so after creating the custom field, the customer will have to go to this app called Manage Search Model. So this Manage Search Model app is available from, I think, 1908 itself, Cloud. But this feature, custom field and extension, adding custom field, this customer have started using from 2008. So there, if you see, this is the screenshot from the landing page. And on the top left, I have entered some string, demo 8, and that filtered it out. So it will filter your search model. It will filter whatever you search for. So this is my search model, and I want to make some changes in that. So I have to add the custom field to this search model, so that it will appear in the search result in the Fiori Launchpad. Okay, next screen, please. Yeah, so on the details section of this app, you will find a dialog box, something like this, where I have managed custom fields. This is the dialog box, and I will have all the custom fields which are enabled for this particular search model. So let's say I have 20 custom fields created for this business context product. Not all 20 will come over here. Only if you enable it for this particular search model, then only it will appear over here. And then after this, you need to enable it. The third switch box you see, we have enabled it. And after enabling, you need to extend some attributes. So first of all, you need to click on save. And after saving, this particular field will be part of your search model. But what extensions you want on over this, you have to specify this in the next screen. We'll go to the next screen. Yeah, so this is the details section. And on the right-hand side, if you see, test full name. And beneath that, we have something called response. So here I will select it as attributes and give some position. So already there were 12 custom fields. I can enter any position, not necessarily in order 13, but anything after 12. So I will provide over here. And additionally, I can also make it a response, request. Request means if you search some, let's say this testful name has a value called ABC. And if you want to search for this ABC, so you have to give that search query in the search box in the query launchpad. So that will search. If you don't make this as a request, it will not be searchable. So right now what I'm doing is, my goal is to only get this field in the query launchpad. That's the only goal. So I will set it as attribute and click on save and activate. On the left-hand side in the footer button, if you see, there's a button called save and activate. I will press that, and then in the backend there's some extensions getting created, and now you'll be your work is done actually. If you go to the next screen, I think this was the last screen. Yeah. So the screen which was showing after adding the custom field. So this is what we wanted to achieve after adding the custom field and after creating the custom field from custom fields app, and then going to the manage app. You need to extend this particular field, and then it will appear in the search result. Yeah. And here are some important links. One is the blog, which was created for 2005. And this internally has so many other links, which talks about different features in this app, Manage Search Model. And then next is the notes, the list of search model enabled for extension. Means not all the search models can, we can add this extension. Not all the search model we can add custom fields to it. So there are certain prerequisites that you have to make it as C0. So that list is there. If you can, that will tell you whether you are able to do that or not. And next is the application component, CAGPF HSP. If you find any issue, or if you want to know further about this feature or this app, Manage Search Model, feel free to put an incident into this, or maybe. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you.
So thank you very much, guys, for sharing all those insights with us. So, Hannah, I saw that you already answered some questions. Still, I think it's good to repeat them orally again for everyone. So one question was, or do you want to proceed, Hannah?
Maybe a quick comment on that. My colleagues, Shady, Hannah, and Michael helped me. So maybe we can unmute them, as there are much more experienced colleagues.
I think this is not possible, unfortunately, due to the webinar setup. But as we all can see in the chat, Hannah Shady already elaborated the first question a bit. So maybe we can just share the question with the audience. So there was the question that the strategy is to access the S4 data directly in S4 and not to keep, respectively, extract the data redundantly somewhere else. So, Hannah, would you like to?
Yes, I can read the answer from my colleague. So, yeah, hi, Thomas. First of all, thank you for your question. And mainly, we are not trying to make things redundant here, but there are use cases where you need to bring data from different source systems, either SAP or non-SAP, combine them, apply some processes to enhance the quality of the data, and create reports on top of them, which can't be done in S4 only. So I hope this answer helps you. But if not, you can always reach out to us after the session, and yeah, we can explain that to you further. And the second question, maybe I can read it and also read the answers directly if you want, Miriam.
Yeah.
Will there be an extractor CDS view for S4HANA Group Reporting Finance? And it's like that you can find a list of extraction-enabled CDS views through the View Browser app. And we also linked here a blog where you can see a step-by-step guide how you can see it, or how you can, see if they're extraction enabled when you're in the View Browser app.
Great, thank you. So we can move to the next question. So can someone use a BW query from the BW4 system instead of an Analytic S4 query as a source to the embedded SAC? Who can take over that?
At the moment, the embedded SAC is based on the live connection to S4HANA Cloud. And I think this doesn't answer your question. Maybe you can just reach out to me and we can review your use case in detail. So based on the S4HANA live connection, yes, you can use the queries. And yeah.
Thank you, Reda. And I think there's another question for you. Do you have any plans of removing the iframe technology and using a most progressive one so that the user cannot see the UI difference between SAC and S4?
Well, thank you for feedback. At the moment, we don't have any plans for exchanging the iframe technology, as it also provides us for some security features, but maybe we can take a look at that in the future.
Thank you, Reda. So to the next question regarding parameters, can there be a variable such as current year or current month instead of requiring the user to enter the month and day as shown in the demo?
So when you're designing the query, you are unfortunately not able to use those date parameters that you might be able to create from the Manage KPI and Reports app. But nevertheless, we will take your feedback to the engineer and see if we can improve on that.
Thanks for the feedback, Reda. And I think we do not have any left questions. So you can still use the Q&A function if you have further questions. Feel free to do so. And so if not, let me thank you guys for sharing all the insights with us. Yeah, I think with that, we can close the session a little earlier. And I hope to see you all guys in our next session as well, which will be about artificial intelligence. So I can just encourage you to join that session as well. And with that, I thank you guys.